Let's do a damn rundown, ladies and gentlemen. DK versus Gam. Yeah, well, what was surprising to me, I think that Gam came out the draft. Like, if we just look at the meta, right? If we look at the meta and no nameplates, I think that Gam came out of draft better, you know? The Rumble Javan with no Poppy answer, no nothing, you know? Kisante Lee Sin, Oriana is picked on 3. It's like, if we think about everything that is super, super strong, especially Oriana with Azir ban and Nico ban, this looks like a Exodia draft, you know, for Gam. But DK, they have full comfort, right? The Lee Sin for Canyon, Silas on Showmaker. I think that this is just the usual business, right? It's just the usual business. Looking at the game, honestly, I think that these games were mildly uninteresting, but I would be worried about DK when it comes to like drafting against some of the better teams. I think that that's something that is quite dangerous. Someone in the chat said Nashor's on Azri feels like such a bait. I disagree. I think Nashor's Tooth has high enough base stats. Like, it's just such a strong stat stick. I disagree with that, with the notion that it's weak. It's just I think it's very strong. It's like the item path is insane. It's just insanely cheap. Looking at this game, right, I think it just came from a 2v2 kill on bot. I think Devs could have played this better. It's like down one across the board are just stronger players. You know, shout out to Levi. Apparently he was, you know, just... apparently he was sick. And he was at the hospital at 5 AM, so that kind of blows for him, you know? Blows for the team. Fair play though, I don't think it would have made a difference. I think DK is just a better team, right? They have the stronger laners, and when Slater doesn't play Zaya, I think it just isn't it, you know? It just isn't it, you know? I think this was a moment where Slater could have played more, you know? I think here he should just play more. Kellen, like here he should just posture and chase after him, you know? Like really, really commit all the way. It's like Uzziah with full lethal tempo against Halo Blades, no Halo Blades. I think that this was your moment to try to win the game, but Slater didn't take it. I think that Kellen is fucking kind of trolling with what he did. I think if Slater just fucking flashes the W damage there too, but then Lee Sin comes to deliver the kick into his forehead and finish the kill. I think Slater could play better. I think Yaya did a good job. I think Yaya stayed relevant in the game, you know, secured the Herald for his team, and I think that he did a fine job, Yaya. Who's MVP of LNG versus KT? We will get to that soon. Yeah, I don't think there's too much to say about this game, honestly. I think there was a fight where Showmaker played so beautifully well. That was just a solo kill. I guess we can show that. Look at the amount of first strike gold he also gets here. So we just cut out of a replay. Cut is hitting the turret. Obviously he can't. He doesn't have control over river. Taking the neutral wave is something they should be happy about. 147 flash into auto. And Kat had no flash. We continue. I think there was this one fight I wanted to show from Showmaker because it was so beautiful. It was so well done. I think it's the last Drake fight. I think it's this one that's coming up. Look at how Showmaker just has such presence. Look at how he positions and how he tethers to the enemy position and doesn't allow Slater and Kati to break in. You see how he tethers to the enemy here? This is very nice. He's tethering his movement, and he's always marking these two. Very nice. So good game too. I don't know what I pressed. Alright. My life I've had to fight. Right, Gum. Blue side, ban Renata Glask, make Kalista weaker. Alistar ban, Caitlyn Alistar. Not sure what Gum's strategy was here besides the Caitlyn ban. I didn't think it makes too much sense. Then we banned Zaya, they first picked Kaiser, and here DK just followed Rumble. Here Orianna was ignored. It's something that we saw the whole day, right? That Orianna was ignored. I feel like Gam after that first initial game didn't want to play after that Orianna game, didn't want to play that again. Hisante, Nautilus. Just the standard lock-in, right? Enemies showing Rel and Alistair's banned, so you just ban Nautilus because you don't want to go 4-5 because the enemy will ban supports and then you will have less champions, right? Nautilus is a stronger laner in comparison to Rakan. DK pick Lee Sin again. Wukong Vi. Yeah, Sivir gets locked in. I thought they would just pivot. They would just pivot here to Javan Orianna. But it seems like they just didn't want to. Imagine the big Javan Orianna here, how good would that be? But they didn't want to, they wanted to try Nocturne Akali. And then Ari gets picked on 5. Really cool tech here. I have hiccups. Hey Suranji, good to see you. I hope everything is good, Suranji. Alright, let's jump forward. So basically, I really like the tech here from Showmaker. Instead of playing Airy, he goes Fleet Footwork. And the thing is, this is a very, very aggressive rune. Because in terms of the synergy that he gets from the move speed to auto into W, he guarantees all W hits. And he squeezes more autos in with the move speed. And also the chip damage from minions is going to be less relevant. I really, really like this as the aggressive tech. Then he goes Alacrity, Cut Down. He's planning to go, he went Cut Down because he's planning to go Leandries. I think that's super, super cool, you know? I like that. I like this tech. So he maxes W, uses the move speed to go and rock and rolls. And yeah, I don't know what Kellen flashed here for, bro. I don't know what this flash is. But he got into Slater's head at least. It's like he's trying to get the flip in, but he couldn't really reach. Showmaker was harassing away, punishing away. It was good shit. Enemy is knocked in jungle, so he knows there's no pressure on him. He has Lee in his jungle, in his corner. It's a stronger early game jungler. They secure the first Drake, and you just know this is going to be like a slow burner, you know? Like there's not a lot that's going to happen in this game. This looked like it had potential, I think, for Gigabyte Marines. I think that just the ultimate here on Lee puts Kiaya in a bad position. And I think Kiaya could have just stopped going here at some point, and then maybe this would have been a better situation. I like the build here from Showmaker, just going Leandri. See the cannon trap here on the Nocturne, pays off big time. They managed to find the lethal together here. Showmaker that wants to keep his flash. And then the Leandri burn kills Levi. DK just was the better team today. I think that they were very robust, very disciplined. And any lead that they got, they held on to. I think Gigabyte Marines should have tried a little bit harder to attack. Do you like the boots on Ari though? Yeah, I don't mind, yeah. I think it's good. I think Gigabyte Marines, they got so far doing nothing and waiting for enemies' mistakes. And that's fair play against bad team. You know, I think that this is just a group of guys that figured out a way to win that worked domestically. And their wins against R7, their wins against Team Wales, their win against Team Liquid even. I think that it definitely plays into, you know, them relying on enemies making mistakes, you know. They weren't the stronger early game team ever, besides maybe the Team Wales matchup. Alright, KT versus LNG, let's bite into the meat. Let's bite into the juice. KT vs LNG, game 1. Maokai first pick. We have Kalista, Kai'Sa on blue side ban. Xayah, Rumble, Azir, and then KT, they ban Orianna themselves here. They get a clean Maokai first pick. I think that Jarvan for Maokai trade is perfectly fine. I think that Kai'Sa, when it's gone right, I think that Aphelios does look decent. It does look decent. I was hoping here that on 4-5 that something more interesting would have been picked. I don't like Jinx here at all. I felt like Jinx comes with so much risk. It's like you're picking Jinx, Alistar, a very weak lane. Blind, and you're looking it into Jarvan too. I thought that draft-wise, I thought that LNG looked way better here. I'm not a super big fan of Jace anymore, and I will explain why. I think that he loses most matchups early. And then I think that his 1-item spike and 2-item spike isn't strong enough to justify it. And then when it comes to 3 core, that's when he's super strong. And I think that it really comes down to... It really comes down to, you know, like a 5-minute window where you're super strong, because then it's like lifesteal comes in, and then the tanks, it's like you don't get that much value out of Jace. You really think so? I think it really depends on who plays it, because no one, of course every champion depends on who plays it, but this is a case where Kalista, Kai'Sa and Xayah is out. If people were playing Aphelios into Xayah and Kai'Sa and were losing, it's a very different case here, Tineki. Looking at the game, I think that KT had a very good start, because a lot of things were going their way, even though they are theoretically the weaker team early on. I think there was, you know, I think Tarzan, I want to look at Tarzan pathing, because I think Tarzan could have done so much more in the early game. So we had the situation where Kuz, so basically, Kuz starting Raptors makes Tarzan not want to invade enemy red, right? And then here, Kuz, he reverse clears because he wants to end up on bot to make sure that his Jinx and Alistar doesn't get dove, right? So that's like really cool, that's good job, well done. Then Maokai skips Wolves and goes to red. Here, he is very scared of Tarzan coming after him, because Nico should have prior against the Jace, of course. He has just full control with the Eri and the early power of this champ. And then Maokai just goes for golems. Like here, Maokai is already very happy. He's secured the game. Bot is not getting dove. BDD is going to base and TP back after tanking this wave, right? And there is no threat on him. You can see that the ward that was placed here, Jarvan gets spotted on the back end here. He gets pinged out. You know, this was a solid early game plan here from KT. I really like this lane gank too. I don't think there's a reason for Hung to step up the way he does. He plays a Spell Thief. You can see that he kind of misclicks here, right? He kind of misclicks. You see this click here. This click here, right? And then here, like Lehens did such a good job, and then throws everything away by dying here. Like here, he just walks forward, and then it was this weapon switch of Gala, and he dies because he has no flash. And then all of a sudden, you know, Gala with the blue weapon is going to be able to push in. It's like it went from a good play to kind of a bad play, because now Alistar just has no flash. He got the kill, while Aphelios got the kill, and he has full control over the wave, and aiming gets nothing. Because if Alistar stays alive here, he's going to honk once or twice off the minions, the Jinx kills. They can crash the wave, and then all is good in KT Town, but unnecessary that Lehend dies here. And like, I still want to highlight that Lehend's had a really fucking good series today. Like, he did a really good job. Here, I think Dom highlighted that maybe you should look to, especially after the, I wonder if like Scout should just channel ult, right? BDD dodging the E. I think that Scout doesn't play it too well, and that he dies off of the gank on the back end is very bad. Like, you're not allowed to give kills as Nico. I think this could have been like solo kill actually. Like imagine if the E was interacted in a way where like these minions die, you know? It's like if he E's and let's say he kills these minions at the same time, could have been crazy, man. Could have been really, really crazy. Nevertheless, Tarzan here, I don't like here that Tarzan is doing wolves. I think this is troll. If I'm Tarzan here, I go into river here every time. Mid is volatile, and also Drake is alive, and Renata has tempo, you know? Keep in mind, this Alistar just came out of base. I really, really don't like it. I think that here, Javan should step into river, contest mid, and then leech Drake and kill it with Renata. I think it's way better. Like, of course, Scout shouldn't die the way he did, right? He shouldn't die. But basically, Jace is hiding in fog, and he thinks that he's safe. I think that here, Tarzan is still trolling. Like, I really don't like when junglers do this. They open up on the map. They have a window of pressure. Like, look where Renata is, look where Scout is. They have a window of pressure, and he's doing camps. And these camps are not going to make him stronger in the short term. And then when he's finished with the camps, it's no longer the window of his teammates. I really don't like this type of gameplay. This is like first big mistake from Tarzan in my mind. He still crosses into bottom side, but he does the Drake timer a little bit later. Here he does Drake, and it spawns in unison with Crab, which is cool. But I think here as well, I think the key thing here that you should look for is to pressure. He won't be 6 after Gromp. No, he's not. Wolf and Gromp doesn't get him 6. And then here, Tarzan does Crab. It's like he just wastes so much time on doing Crab here that I wonder if it's even worth it. I wonder, it's like, because here the key thing for me if I'm thinking about Javan's position is that he crosses into topside and he makes K'Sante scared of playing the way he plays. Imagine here there's a case where Javan crosses into top, does red, and then he's on pressures top, so Jax can begin to slow push, and then they can invade the enemy blue. And this is how he could extend the advantage. But instead he kind of just has his boots on, and he's just you know, splashing water around in the river. And then Mauka is crossing, and now he does Crab. Like, Crab is finished here. I don't know what the fuck he's doing now, you know? I don't know what the fuck is happening here. I think Javan should just cross into top, but he just doesn't do it. He just doesn't do it. It took him forever to do Crab, and now Maokai gets to get level 6. So Maokai gets level 6, and Javan's advantage is gone. And this entire time, Zika was pressured by K'Sante because they had full information on Tarzan. And now, somehow, they managed to secure... Maokai Jace managed to secure his Herald because Tarzan is falling asleep at the wheel. He's really, really asleep in this series. Here at this point, KT, they managed to push a wave clean, and Aphelios on the wave. So here Aphelios' tempo is faster, but KT is trying to break the game with the use of Herald. They send the K'Sante into bot, who has armor. It's going to be tough to dive him. They're trying to break away from the game. The timing of this is super, super good because they do manage to kill Zika in the end. Like here, just the way Lehens plays it, it's like he secures it. It's like there's definitely ways to fuck this shit up. I can show you. You can definitely not sack first Herald. It's not allowed when you have Java and Nico, I think. Big mistakes. Oh yeah, Zika does fucking live here. I forgot. This is fucking the Houdini play of the century. He's just drinking potions, dodging that, and queuing over the wall. I forgot about this. I definitely forgot about this. Herald is used, and then the first third gold goes to blue side. And here, I think Tarzan the same thing. Jinx looks like she's in such big trouble here. but it ends up not mattering. She just walks away with Fleet and just walks away with Berserker Greaves. The TP comes in from Kesante after sacking bot, and Taza misses EQ, and they get him. And all of a sudden, you know, I'm thinking to myself, wow, blue side is actually doing super, super well. I really don't like this Jinx build. It's like the synergistic nature of Jinx and Jace. If Jinx can cover for the weaknesses of Jace, I think that she is far more useful. Far more useful. But instead she itemized to poke, but it's completely irrelevant, the poke. And I'm surprised that LNG decided to give up the entire bot side. They have Nico W, they have ways to face check. Blue side's composition, getting Drakes like this, there is something they're very happy with, but I think the key reason is probably Java no item, Jax no item. It's a power hole. So I think it makes sense now that I look at it in hindsight. I think here though, I think they could have committed to that decision earlier, because before this replay starts running, we see a Aphelios opening on top side. It's like here, look, if Aphelios opens on top side and plays for top turret right now, I think that they can easily win, you know? And then Aphelios would have way higher tempo, but Aphelios is playing to contest this. Because Aphelios could have pushed top side all the way, and then Jinx would either have to answer, and then they play away from Drake, right? We continue. They lose the Drake, but the Gala gets platings. He has approximately like 900 gold advantage. I think we have the MasterCard snapshot here, right here. 923. Key thing though, you know, Aphelios definitely can get hit by spells. Something that LNG did really well was that they blocked a lot of EQs with Nico W. And additionally, I think that Hung did a really good job of never eating EQs. Like he was always playing max range, never standing on the wave, never getting bored, which is crucial. Very important. I think that the conversation about blue side being OP is way too overblown, I think. I think blue side is strong, but I think the conversation is really overblown, man. I think, you know, in most cases, in my mind, the better team wins. Blue has 70% win ratio, but you have to look a little bit deeper. Like, are we gonna... So it's like T1, like the higher seed is choosing side. T1, BTL, that counts with the win ratio. It's like here, everyone who chose side here, besides NRG, won. It's heavily skewed by the stronger team being on blue side. The Bilibili is favored against KT, LNG is favored against Fnatic, G2 is favored against Damwon, it's like evenish, right? C9 is favored against Mad, T1 against TL, JG picked red. We scroll down, here C9 picked blue, they lost, right? They are the weaker team. NRG beat TL, NRG is the first seed, right? Mad beat BDS, they are a higher seed than BDS. Fnatic beat GAM on blue, Genji beat T1 on blue, makes sense, right? G2 beat Weibo on blue, and even this game, right? They could have fucking lost this game. Did they win because of blue side? Not really, right? Then JDG versus Bilibili, it's once again the higher seed picking side, and then here KT chose red against Damwon, right? So it's their choice, but KT is the better team to DK. And then JDG, it's like, if your summary of this series is that JDG won because they are blue side, I think that's pulls away from the nuance of it, you know? I think it really pulls away from the nuance of the series. Here G2 was blue side twice, right? And they picked because they got the drawn first, and they lost against Genji, who was the better team. T1's the better team against C9, KD's the better team against Weibo, and it's like we've had 0 upsets. The thing is, it's quite a limited sample size, and I think that we've had a world championship with very little upsets, and while I do think blue is strong and that picking blue makes sense, I think blue side is stronger, but I wouldn't go so far to say that blue side is broken. Like, oh, you have blue side, you're gonna win. I don't think that blue side is strong enough to skew which team is better, you know? Because and another thing, right, is that a lot of these teams on red side, what have they done for the longest time? It's like, how many games needed to be lost to Xayah before people started banning Xayah, right? So yeah, BDS are banning Xayah on blue, man. They lost their mind, you know? Like how many games needed to be lost on blue side before Xayah started to get bans? So look at here, you are playing blue side and you get Xayah, you know? God bless, you know? Xayah. And now Xayah is getting permabanned on red, right? And it changes the dynamic of things. Yeah, it's like if blue side is OP, it's the same as saying, wow, Fnatic would have won against Bilibili if they were blue side. I don't think that's true. And I think that when the meta settles and people figure out like which champion should be permabanned, I think that red side will gain some traction, you know? Is Xayah the only broken first pick? I think that Rumble is arguable. And I think Maokai is arguable, but Maokai has answers. I think Xayah is the most OP for sure. But I think Ori and Rumble, like Rumble is really OP. I think Ori, it seems like the Azir thing is picking up some traction, so we need to pay attention to that. But let's continue with this game. Why blue side is better? Because you can use bans a little bit more freely to target ban the opposition, and you can choose the end of the bargain, right? For example, here, right? This is a good example of red side showing a lot of strength, right? Here, Azir, Orianna, Poppy, Maokai, Kalista, Rakan. So they make Xayah weaker by banning Rakan, and then they trade Xayah for Rumble Jarvan. Coming out of this draft, is it fair to say that blue side was stronger here? Isn't blue better? Isn't Wukong getting more traction as a prior pick? Not really. Not like, I think Wukong is very strong into Vi, but keep in mind that some of those wins are like play-in wins. It's like Gam picked Wukong and beat Team Liquid, right? That's like one thing, right? So keep in mind, it's like Wukong is 6-1, and the game that it was picked today, the Wukong into Vi, makes a lot of sense because Vi is very slow. The biggest advantage the blue side of the League of Legends map has to do with objectives. I don't think it's as heavily skewed as you say. The map is mirrored, so what? Are we seeing some crazy dynamic where, wow, teams on blue side always secure Nash, and red side and red side teams are always getting Drakes because the map is better? I don't think this is true. I think this is fake, guys. I think this is really fake.
Battle cruiser operational.
It's like, then if this was true, right? If this is your take, blue side, if this is your take, right? Then Drake should be better for red side, right? If this is your take. I just want to underline this because I want to continue with the game. Is I understand the differences in the map, but I don't think it's like big enough to say, wow, blue side is so OP, like teams are just winning because it's blue side, you know? Here Amy managed to reach 2 core. Jace is pushing all the way. This was massive here for KT because they managed to push top all the way, herald on mid, and they also managed to get the steal here. Kaz uses the move speed, he gets a smite together with the Jinx rocket. Like this was a mega blunder here, you know? Jace is showing on top wave, and it's you know, this was a massive swing here for KT. Now we're going to see this build of Jinx really progress into something that doesn't have enough DPS to kill. It's just that it's like, how do blue side realistically finish the game? They don't have Nash threat too much because of the Jinx build, and Jinx, like Aphelios, is a really good condition. He's going to buy BT, right? It's just one of those games. It's like you pick Jinx into Jax and Jarvan. That is rough, right? It's like for Jinx to even carry in the first place is incredibly hard. So it's like if we think about the items she needs for mass DPS, it's like need to be like Gale Force, Kraken, LDR, something like this. Maybe this would be the angle. It's like because Gale Force still makes sense, right? It's like, look what he's playing against. That's why like Jinx is not played anymore, right? Because Gale Force sucks ass, and it's not super easy to maneuver yourself against the current meta. And this guy went fire cannon because he thinks, oh, we have poke comp, so I have to poke too. It seemed here to me as if Tarzan could play and posture forward to get the R off if they really want to find lethal here. My man builds Mortal Reminder. No, it's this game he builds Mortal Reminder. I still don't get why they picked Jinx. I'm in the same boat. I don't know why they picked Jinx. I really don't know. It's like even this situation, right? It's like their Nash DPS is so slow. It's like so slow because of itemization. Really slow. And then Scout on the flank, on the back end here, he knows that the enemy has no flash, and the timing here is really nice from Scout. Look at the timing. Yeah, I thought Ezreal Karma, Ziggs, something like this could have been played, right? I know everyone hates Ezreal Karma, but it's like, I mean Ezreal, but Ezreal Karma I think would have been neat here. The only issue is, like, if you pick Ziggs, I think with K'Sante top, it's not super easy. Was Sivir banned? Sivir is kind of trash into Aphelios. Renata wouldn't have been picked if Karma was picked. Just to make that clear. I thought now for the longest time that LNG after this, just because Jinx knows some, I thought that they should look to pressure. I didn't understand why they don't force Nash here. They just don't force Nash, they don't fight. It's like Jinx is getting away with murder, I think. I like Zeri. I believe Zeri was banned. Zeri was banned. Wasn't Zeri banned, guys? Look, Zeri was banned. You see it? Zeri Varus. I'm surprised that they didn't, like, why did the fact that they let the enemy get Drake like this was kind of crazy. Here is one of those moments where I'm so impressed with Gala, because it's like, for most AD carries I'd be like, oh wow, he didn't flash the Alistair combo and put himself in trouble, but for me it just seems like, I don't know, with Gala I need to assume that he just knows. I feel like. Thousand blocking the Jinx rocket and then the red weapon ult comes up big. It's like most AD carries I would flame them for not flashing. But for Gala, I just have to assume that he knows. It's like here, if Javan doesn't block that, he will probably flash it then. Crazy shit, man. 3 quarters now finished on Gala. LNG now with White Gun. I think this is what they were waiting for. White Gun and so forth. But now Gala has no flash and aiming has flash up again. So it changes the dynamic of things. And then Gala here, you know, he's stacking his shurikens on the Nashor. His Santa's on bot and he's TPing quite late to the situation. Crazy, like LNG on weapon switch and BT just one-shot Nash. The issue here is just, I don't know, this Jinx just doesn't have a presence. Would ADCs not study how much DPS enemy dishes out? So that's something that it only helps you if, like, you build an instinct for things like this, right? It's like if you play enough games, you have a feeling for cooldowns, you have a feeling for damage. You're not sitting there and fucking calculating, you know? You're making very, very fast estimations because it's very based on a specific window, you know? Like here, I think that he was ready to just flash the Jinx rocket. But you're not sitting there doing like fucking calculus in the middle of the game, you know? It's just that the follow-up fight here, right? It's like the Renata carpet ult, Katie's reaction. Let's just take a look if Katie could have done something more, because they give up the space kind of easily, you know? This Nico pick is just eating all of the EQs. Look at him block. Look at the maneuvering of Scout here. That they're not getting. It's like the Nico clone usage is so pretty here. Very well done. Then Gala, he has so many fucking shurikens here, man. Look at the DPM, bro. Kaz gets hit by the ult into another auto. And all of a sudden, like, the game shifts. And this is like an example of why I hate Jace. Like Jace needed Cyrilda to be impactful. He's playing these heavy AD compositions. And the window where he's strong is so limited, you know? Obviously, Jinx itemization could have been better, but I don't know how much it would have saved in such a game. I just feel like this Jace hitting EQs was not happening. It was just not happening. And as long as people can block your EQs that have armor, you're not gonna be impactful. Let's watch the last demon fight of Aphelios. Thing is, Jace, I think like the top lane is too heavily impacted by the fact that it's a long lane. So it's like Jace top. It's like every jungler in the game actually just eats you alive. That's the issue. It's like you get ganked once, you lose your flash one stop, and you're just done for the rest of the game. Let's look at the Gala montage. So smooth. Scout as well, the clean ultimate. Gala's drifting. Look at that Q predict on the dash as well. He saw that from miles away. Beautiful. Nico's looking like a very strong champ at this tournament. Let's take a look at game 2, guys. Game 2. KT blue side. This is probably the best Talia game we saw all tournament long. It's kind of weird, I have to admit, man. I think that I feel like the whole Talia thing it's like, is Aphelios the low-key OP? No. This was a very specific game where Zaya, Kaiser, and Kalista were out. Obviously, Aphelios can lane against these, but it was a very unique case. Like, look at the 80s that were being played, Aphelios Jinx. And Gala's an outlier. He's not the norm. BDD had a very good Talia game. This is like a very, very good Talia game. BDD is the best mid Talia player, I think. No, I think Chovy is better. I feel like Talia only does well when she can dive top on winning matchup. Well, she didn't do that this game. Chovy is a fantastic Talia, but no, nevertheless. It's like Talia is now 316 at this tournament, counting play-ins, of course. Counting jungle as well. I thought that out of draft that LNG looks better. I definitely think that I definitely thought that LNG looks better. I thought that they can compete in the early game with the Azi Javan. But the Renekton Sejuani and the early game of KT was just superior here. Was just superior. Like blue side composition has this timer on their head where they need to finish the game quite fast. And they did. They really did. Like, this is the type of composition that needs to finish the game in 24 minutes. On 3 core, this is the type of comp that looks very, very strong. But I think that when you look at tier 1 League of Legends, I think the comps that curve out on 1 and 2 are really, really good. Really, really good. But once again, I want to look at what Tarzan did this game because I was very confused.
That's what they want.
Like Tarzan like really griefed the previous game, like as we highlighted. Let's take a look at more. What did he do this game? Crabs get traded. Java's into topside. Puts a ward, bases, very standard stuff. He didn't base because he saw the top was volatile on Keen on the push out. This is beautiful from Zika as well, how he like predicts the flash and reacts so fast. Really nice. This Zika definitely fucks. Has TP as well because he got the cheat base. So this was like a very important moment here for Zika. But Keen did manage to stabilize quite well. Cuz still Gromp as a price to pay. And here Javan's gonna go for Wolves because this is how his camps were cleared. Key thing here for Tarzan is that he won't get level 5. I believe. Actually he will because he got the kill on XP on the kill top. Here does the golems. Here this was very clever from Lehens because usually most supports base. But he just sat in this bush. And then the W here is used and Gala just eats it. He's tanking it for fun. This was some deep psychological game Obviously, we can sit here and say that he shouldn't eat, but he just doesn't expect that Lehens is sitting in this bush, and it's not a crazy uncommon play, you know, but Lehens played this beautifully. It's a big kill. Lehens had a really good series today. I think Lehens and Cuz played really fucking well. Here, I don't know. I think Keen was a bit of a psychopath, right? Like Javan. Javan could be here, right? He doesn't know where Javan is. Javan could be in this bush right now and EQ him, and he's dead, you know? He could definitely do that. But he was taking the campies. And Tarzan takes the top grab too. Skips the Grumpy. Yeah, the issue now is just I'm looking at this Javan and it doesn't look comfortable at all to play. Like, compare the Sejuani right now to the Javan. How can Javan even look Sejuani in the eye? Because I'm trying to be fair in my analysis towards Tarzan here, but if I'm Javan and I look at this Sejuani with a Giant's Belt and a Bami Cinder and she's just walking around with fucking 600 bonus HP, I'm shitting my pants. I'm legit shitting my pants. How can Tarzan interact? Do you think Keen played well? I think he griefed. I don't know, Keen is a very strong laner, but he's not a strong converter, I think. Which is weird, because he did convert a lot, and he converts so much in regular split, but then he doesn't convert in like Worlds or playoffs, I feel. So I'm looking here, what could Tarzan realistically accomplish in this game, you know? Like he has 0 initiative onto enemy Seju because of the itemization. Seju secured Herald. Put it on mid. Deadly combination. Hung is killed. It's like, I feel like the first game was a lot more... I think that the first game was a lot more egregious from Tarzan than this one. Oh well, actually, then he does this. I don't know what Blood's doing, bro. No idea what Blood's doing, man. The thing is, why people stop trading Asi ult flash from Talia Ori literally 0 and 10 last games? Because if you don't have information on Sejuani, like clean information on Sejuani, it's like, keep in mind, Talia will play around his own jungle. And if Sejuani is ever matched where Javan does this, he can just solo lose the game, you know? And keep in mind, BDD would play around his own jungler, and he will play around the enemy jungle too. It's like he doesn't need to contest every neutral wave, he can hover, and then when he hovers, Azir feels incentivized to push. So, Talia doesn't need to stand on the neutral wave, because when she's fogging, it's already enough to incentivize Azir to push. Like, these players aren't that bad, you know? Well, besides when Tarzan does shit like this. Because he ran this game. Now, Zika is a very well-rounded player. He's not a two-trick at all. He's a very, very strong player. I think this was well done by LNG, just committing to the trade, and Zika with this pink here notes that Herald's being taken, so he can be on the wave. It's like positive. Is there a captain? I don't know if they have a team captain, brother. Now the main issue is that this game is going too fast for LNG, right? Like this game is very, very fast. Talia has already, like with the two heralds, they broke mid turret, which is very rough. Like mid turret is important for LNG and their ability to contest mid wave. On side, Jax has not ramped up enough. You can see that they have like the makings of some items, while blue side has all completed items. And this is always going to line up so well coming into, of course, the Drakes. This was very unfortunate. I think Kaz entered in the first place here. I would say that Zika is better than Sanji too. I think that Sanji is a fantastic player, like when it comes to his like Keisante, Rumble, or even like the Darius. And I think that if Sanji becomes the player that adds everything else to his pool, I think that he can be one of the best top laners in the world. But as long as the target bans, it's like if the target bans need to be done and it doesn't limit his impact, it's like the bans are good to do for the enemy. You get me? When the bans become bad to do for the enemy because you're just on even footing and playing with less bans, that's when players like that become really insane. Sanji's overrated is like the Adam of LPL. No, Xingtian is the Adam of LPL. I think Sanji is like a legit fucking top laner, dude. Thank you, Steph Curry Sim. No, Sanji is not LPL Adam. Xingtian is LPL Adam. Really? So as mentioned before, they're lining up for Soul Point. LNG, you know, they need to hope that they can funnel enough gold into Sivir and Azir for them to finish Void and LDR, but it's a big ask, it's a big ask. Here, Nash's Tooth is going to be finished and blue side can start pressuring... They can start pressuring. KT have so much Nash damage and they just want to make sure that LNG feel threatened. It's like KT, they are correcting the mistake they did against Weibo, right? Even though they won against Weibo, that game became sweaty, you know? Thing is, Adam is a good Renekton, but the mistakes he does on Renekton are mistakes that are top lane related, not Renekton related. I describe it like someone can be like a Rengar OTP can be a fantastic Rengar player, the best Rengar player, but he might not be a good jungler. Do you get me? There's two different topics there. Is there a reason for less Rumble today? Yeah, it was permabanned. I think that's a pretty good reason. I think the BDD positioned himself very, very nice here. Good turn. Very good turn. I think here Gala griefs. I think Gala just needs to walk with his homies. But Gala walks left. So Gala is obviously really bad. And he doesn't deserve to be a Worlds. I'm joking, guys. Obviously, Gala is fucking insane. Yeah. And now with this big gold swing that they got through this Nash, they just have 2 big items and the game is over. Let's take a look at game 3. Game 3, LNG back to blue side. Blue side is OP! Yes! Ooh. Why is Ori most picked ban champ in Worlds when she hasn't been buffed since 13-17? So Billy Bob Joe is my dad. No one played on patch 13-17. So I think that's crucial. Not a single Worlds game or competitive game was played on 13-17. So obviously that patch carries over to 13-19. You're underplaying blue side strength. If it's not OP, why are everyone picking it? Is this bait? It has to be bait, right? We talked about this so much. It's bait. Hey, it was not first time chatter, that's fine. If it was first time chatter, JGG picked it against LNG. Double bait. It's not bait. The blue side is strong. Yeah, blue side is strong. But I don't think that the conversation should be focused on side. Well, the conversation really shouldn't be focused on side selection as much as it is. Because especially looking at this tournament, I've gone through it so many times already. It's like, wow, Fnatic won on red side. They just must be so much fucking better than C9 then, right? And then you say, wow, it's just one game, Yamato. Well, I guess, you know, for me, it's pretty straightforward. It's like the team that I had preferred to win has won. And that's tied to being the highest seed too. The highest seed is also choosing blue, which inflates the power of blue, because very often the team that has side selection has won the game. So Ori has been good for past few months. No. The playoffs were played on 13-14, 13-15. There was no competitive matches globally in any relevant league on 13-17. I guess knockout stages will determine if it's really strong then. Even in that case, no. Even in that case, no. Maybe. Keep in mind, I am saying blue side is strong. Blue side is strong. Was the buff really that big? The thing is, additional buffs to Orianna were also Azir nerfs, as an example. You know, there's indirect changes that matter. Why don't we see Kate Lux into Aphelios blind? How we don't see Aphelios blind that often, and Kate Lux need to be picked together. And Kate Lux is not even in, like, it's fine into Aphelios, but Aphelios can play that with the right support pairing. My point, final thing I'm going to say on the blue side thing, blue side is strong, blue side is to be preferred right now, but teams are winning because they are better currently. Can you explain what Champ Prior is making blue side strong? So that's another thing, right? A lot of games on blue has been off of the back of like a Xayah, right? And now everyone's permabanning Xayah. There's evolution. The draft is growing, you know? But okay, let's take a look at this game. So Kai'Sa first pick because Xayah is out and Zeri is out, and no Kalista gameplay. We didn't see any Kalista gameplay. I think that's something that can skew things. No Kalista here from aiming. He decided to go Aphelios. Azir Alistar gets locked in. Rakan, Renekton is the follow-up. I like the Renekton lock-in. It seems like in this particular game, it seems to be just important to have strength early on, especially with how Katie played things. Blue side 90% win rate, not OP. Ouais. Alright, Kai'Sa first pick with Xayah out. No Kalista gameplay here. I think you should look to play Kalista here and challenge. Azir Alistar, they pick Aphelios instead. I don't think that's super exciting against Kai'Sa in general. I think Kai'Sa Rakan get a very easy 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's better. Sylas gets banned out. I think Sylas could have been interesting against Alistar and Azir, and it pairs together with Rakan and Kai'Sa well. They ban Sylas. They also remove Jarvan, even though that LNG has played 2 quite poor Jarvan games. Poppy is the thing that spawned the Jarvan ban. I thought after we saw Poppy ban, maybe they're gonna look to play Akali or something. But I think this was a very good read from LNG because I think that So basically LNG's pivot here was really good because they recognize here with Kai'Sa Rakan that with this lane matchup that they are in bot, they're not going to be able to play a fast enough game to break the Drakes. And they pivoted hard and just went the Wukong Orianna direction because they wanted to compete on the scaling end. And I think that's really good. Opinion on Aphelios? I think Aphelios is good when other ADs are out. Keep in mind, it's like the AD carry hierarchy, right? Is currently Xayah, Kai'Sa, and then if you play Kalista or you don't, right? But we've seen where players have deeper pools are capable of punishing deeper, right? And I think that's like the nuance. You know, if we look at, for example, Elk played a fat fucking a really fat Tristana game. Here Xayah Kalista is out, and then he played a fat Tristana game into Kai'Sa. Not a lot of people can play Tristana, right? That is an edge that Elk has. Same thing, right? Same thing for Bruder Gala, right? Gala played Tristana into Kai'Sa. And if for example here, if you have these additional layers in your pool and additional answers, this is where you can break the game. But a lot of ADs at this tournament have a very limited pool, and they have completely leveraged the crutch of what is Xayah for really, really long. I have no one pick Jhin. Jhin, there's too many tank junglers, 2 tanky top laners, 2 tanky supports. Tristana can only be picked into specific matchups. Jhin is strong, but not against the champs that are being played. Like, the Jhin buff is big. But nevertheless, I really like LNG's pivot here into Wukong Orianna. Is really, really big. Vi and Ornn. Ornn was the only pick here to go against Renekton. This is just a full-on front to back. We're going to whoever gets a lead is going to hold on to the lead, because the only real thing that you can do in such a game is fight your way out of it. It's like this is full-on front to back. Even though Kai'Sa and Rakan and Wukong and pick, this is full-on front to back. Very easy for Wukong and Rakan to find initiations. And is Caitlyn better into tanks than Jhin? Yeah, she is. She has options of buying attack speed, and she can go little tempo and LDR on 3, and she's an attack speed AD, you know. What do you think about Lee Sin in current pro meta? I think the top lane Lee Sin is fake. I think maybe it can be played into Rumble. But jungle, I think it's a fine pick into Jarvan. But I think that Lee Sin doesn't pair too well with the mages, and the mages are doing the best right now, I think, in mid. I think if you play like Lee Sin, Nico, you can have a good time. I just think that champs like Jarvan provide more utility. Even in this game, I felt like that Tarzan didn't have a good start. Like, he had to do so little, because this is a fairly like inactive game that you have to play. It's a very, very slow one. Aphelios on the weapon switch will have control of the bot side, so the enemy should be able to secure first Drake. Here, Wukong should just place the ward and then base, as per usual. Both junglers are just pathing. They're just going for a full 10 camp clear, and they're going to go, of course, to level 5. And then here, Vi on this mid situation and this bot situation should be able to just start unleash Drake over this, right? Because there's a mid gap right now. Orianna needs to base and she has no TP, but Kaz is looking for more. I think that here, if he does Gromp and then he just goes into Drake, would have been better. But he's just spending some time, and he's looking for a kill. Like, I couldn't believe that this actually worked, you know, because I think the problem here is just in my mind here is just that Wukong should go into golems, and these guys can just take it easy, you know. I'm surprised that this gang actually works. I think that LNG's read on this situation, actually, I understand now, never mind. Their read on this situation is that they think that the enemy based. This was a really, really good gank. I didn't realize, but they actually believe that the enemy based and they want to hard push. This is really, really cool. It's a good play, honestly. They just stepped into river and they based on cannon and then looked for the gank. And then Lehens played this beautifully. It's a really nice gank. Really nice. And then the Kaz dropped that pink behind them. It's nice. Yeah. They think that they thought that they fake based. That's actually really insane. So they used the Drake timer to gank bot instead, and Wukong. I think Wukong being told to hover here, I don't like it too much. He could just do his camps. Even here, he could just get 6. He's stealing the enemy right away. Kaz gave it up because Kaz didn't get the Drake XP. He went for the bot gank. Here, I really don't like Tarzan just doesn't leash Herald after taking the red. Because Vi is never gonna open. It's like, why does Wukong not do Herald here? I think here you wait for the Herald to spawn, you check the Raptors, and then you do Herald. And then you base, go into bottom side, secure your bot, path from bot into top. But instead here, he walks into bot side, has a little snifferoo, doesn't accomplish anything, and then he goes, takes his own red, and then instead of taking the minor camps, crosses into Herald. I think that he wasted so much time here. You see that? See you, Simon Oden. Billy Bob Joe, first, these changes matter a lot. And Oriana was already slowly creeping in because she got buffs from before. And additionally, the champions that are being played everywhere else are also pretty good for Oriana. Another thing that really helped Oriana was the change to the minion waves in terms of how much roaming happens in the game and how much you're playing on the wave. I think that not directly in a row. No, they're in a row because she has only received buffs. There's no nerfs. Some champions receive a buff and then a nerf, then a buff, then a nerf. Then it's like, it's no longer in a row, right? Like the changes to Oriana have been buffs in a row, right? Like Kisante, yeah. As you can see here, Tarzan wasted so much efficiency. He traveled the whole map. He went top side and then bot side and then top side again. So that's very sad. Why didn't they contest Herald here? Because in my mind, they're just weaker. I think here right now, Tarzan with the red buff and the Kindle gem, he's looking fucking strong. It's like, I look at these three champs, I wouldn't want to contest if I'm red side. Do you think that any bruiser can be used as a counter to Rumble? I think that Rumble's susceptible to ganks, and maybe you can pick like some goofy ass champs that nobody plays, like Tryndamere, or I think Yone could be interesting. Like Lee could maybe be played. But Rumble 1 to 5 is insanely strong. I think that if you play something that can cheat a base, can be very good against Rumble. Because Rumble is not so strong early levels, like level 1, 2, 3, you know? When he reaches 3, this is where he really kicks into gear. So that's something I would explore. Is Gnar bad into Rumble? I would say so. I think Gnar is just kind of a garbage champ, I'm not gonna lie. I think Gnar is just a piece of shit. Nothing personal, kid. Here as well, I don't know why he opens. Why does he open on top side here? Like Wukong should just open on bot here together with Rakan. Yeah, Kama could be played in Rumble, yeah. I think Camille gets fucked by Rumble too, yeah. Yeah, Ornn is good into Rumble too. That's like my go-to. I like Ornn into Rumble. Yeah, like look what the Wukong is doing. What is Wukong doing, blood? What is Wukong doing? What is Tarzan doing, mate? Yeah, Gala gets fucked. But either way, he should open on bot here. He should open on bot. Like he just would travel the whole world again. Look. He just reveals his location. He just, hey, I planted here. And gaming is like, yo, I'm gonna fucking whippo trade this motherfucker. And then Wukong tries to look at mid, bro. He just used plant and he spotted the ward. They all know where he is, bro. Choking Tarzan is back. Ah, shit. Yeah, this moment is crucial here. Zika is walking down and like look at the minimap here. I believe that the plant spawns on his forehead, but it might be Fog of War that spots it, so I'm not so sure because I'm just reading the minimap. Here, they're leashing Drake because Vi just ulted right on bot and killed, and there's no Gale Force, so they're looking to play this, but Keen has TP advantage. Here I thought Keen is the coldest motherfucker on the planet because he doesn't flash. He doesn't flash. Just gets the R off, and then Zika is of course pressuring BDD, but BDD has flash. He flashes over the wall, and Zika doesn't get the lethal. Keen bonks him, and Tarzan can't even kill him here. Let's see all the things that happen in the fight, because I think Cuz kind of runs it down. Like, why is Cuz fighting the Wu? I think Cuz just needs to tether and wait. So Cuz ints it here for sure. And while BDD and Keen are kind of smurfing here on the back end, like Cuz is just dying for free. Here they still have Rakan ult and Kai's ult, and they push bot. Here Dom was thinking that they should just do Drake right away. And my concern about the Drake right away is the fact that, I don't know, this Drake is so fucking tanky. I feel like if everyone right clicks it on red side, I think that you can't do it. Why not Cuz using his ult? He didn't have his ult. Because yeah, this doesn't look so easy. This doesn't look so easy with the BDD TP, and then, you know, it just doesn't look so easy. I think that they do Drake too slow here, and they are not fresh out the base. I think they are not killing it on time. So Orianna opened on top, and then for some reason we are stuck in this replay, so thank you, Carnage. Thank you. This is what we come back to. I can't. The only thing we know is that Orianna opened on top, so she's pushing. And Renekton came out of base, opened on bot, and then Kai'Sa and Rakan, they open up on mid. And then W into steal, and then Rakan here hung, gets value, Kaz dies, and BDD dies too, but maybe I'm wrong. Oh. So practically, they won the situation here on Drake 4v5. And Orianna was pushing top for free and got first turret. Like, this is such a massive swing in a composition. So it's like, Mountain Drake is really, really good. And the reason is because you just get a lot of value here, right? It's like Rakan is building tanky, Wukong passive, all that good stuff. It's like this game is going to be a pure front-to-back game. So it's all about stats, you know? Any advantage you get, the enemy can only come back by fighting you. There's no like crazy thing that they can do on side. Maybe look for something with Vi and Azir, but you have to contest every Drake here from KT's side, because if they give up another Drake, how are they gonna out-value blue side ever, you know? I think KT look very similar to how they looked in LCK. Really strong early games, and then they struggle to convert. And if they don't have strong early games, they don't know how to come back. It's weird because it just looks like some of their players don't know how to win games. I think that when Lehens is in the driver's seat. I think that he can like end games. But for the others, I think this is where they are inconsistent. It's like, it's as if their players like lack vision for the game, you know? Even though like mechanically they are elite. Mechanically they're elite, lane-wise they're elite. They are really strong players across the board, you know, on KT. I think Fnatic beats NRG, yeah. Now the horror sequence starts for KT, even worse than the previous one. I don't think that they're gonna one-shot Keen the way they did, bro. Like, I'm looking at this Ornn and he looks pretty bulky to me, but they were just fucking paper. Complete paper. What do you think is the strongest Western team? Fnatic. Not G2? Bro. Are you guys listening? He asked, who do you think is the second strongest Western team? And I said, Fnatic. Wow, you think they're better than G2? Alright. Beautiful collapse here. The Ornn is dead and KT are scrambling to get anything out of the situation. They snap TP and KT need to burn important summoners. At least they get out, you know? Aiming, doing everything he can to keep his flash. God bless him. God saves him. Douche. And then here, Keen is back. He wants to defend the mid turret. Boom. The game is honestly done. Very limited ways for Red Side to come back. They just need to hope for like team fight mistakes. Here as well, it's like KT is hard forcing the situation. Maybe the best odds they could have in this game is by giving this Drake and playing on 2 core. Because here Azir is sitting on a recurve bow. You don't have 2 items on Keen. You would get an own upgrade on level 13. You know, they have some spikes cooking here, you know. There's some bakery happening. And you just give up this Drake to seal the Nash. And KT should just be playing for the fight if there's anything that they want to pursue, but this was pretty neat. I thought LNG is just stronger, so they could just straight up match, but they recognized that KT over postured and they just went for Nash, and Nash's Tooth Kaiser just has a good time killing that shit. Nice W, make sure that he keeps vision. Could KD have still been equal if Kim played safe? No, not really. I think that the Drake situation where Wukong stole it and they got first turret and they got 2 kills, I think was just too bloody mental. Sorry for the yawning, guys. I think I need to take a nap. Any thoughts when T1 says they need you for head coach? Time to learn English, buddy. Alright. Alright. LNG versus KT. Is Wu good again in pro play now? So I'm going to repeat this. Wu is good against Vi. Which draft you preferred in game 3? Sorry, I missed that. I think it's equalish, but I prefer blue side. I think that just Kaiser Rakan is more premium than Aphelios. Elk has played fantastic. Elk has played so good. Elk has played really, really good. Yeah, Hang is definitely a passenger, yeah. Like, he's fine. He had a good Renata game, I'd say. That was not an easy Renata game to play. Just talking about Wukong. Wukong is strong into Vi. Like, keep in mind, like let's just pull up, like. So, most of the Wukong games, I think, like, Levi played 4. And they are mostly picked into Vi, unless you're Levi. 13-19, I think it's 5-1, 6-1 now. 6-1, I think. 6-1. Levi. This is all Levi. And if you look at the match list, right? The one loss is here against Lee. It's like BDS is a way worse team than Damwon. That's fine. But here into Vi, and then here into Vi. And this is where like the good junglers are picking it. Tarzane and Kanavi. You see? Because Vi is something that is blind picked, and Wukong gets a pretty clean transition into Divine Sunderer in such a game, and that's why it's picked. Guma might be better than Elk in this meta. I think that's far-fetched. I think Elk is the better player. But I think Gumayushi is really good too. Is Wukong Annie still going to be a contested combo? Blood just like took a nap during MSI and woke up now. Where am I? Why is no one picking Annie? I think Gumayushi is fucking good. So Dom really doesn't like Gumayushi, but I like Gumayushi. I think Gumayushi is fucking good. I think T1's two best players is Gumayushi and Zeus. And then I think Korea is really good on range champs and laning. If Fnatic doesn't draw NRG, what chances do you give them to make it? Alright, so they could draw KT, Weibo, Damwon. The thing is, I think that it's not impossible for Fnatic to beat Weibo or Damwon. But I still would favor them. I would still favor Damwon and Weibo. But I could see Fnatic winning. It's not crazy. Zhao has not been playing that well, you know. I think that... the main issue, right, is that I think that even though Weibo has a weak bot lane, I think that Light is doing better than Noah, you know. Noah had a great Aphelios game, but other than that, I'm kind of sleepy on Noah, you know. It's like looking at the predictions, let's just do some predictions. NRG versus G2, I think G2 is better. I think that the biggest issue that NRG is gonna face is that, I don't know, I think FBI is the biggest passenger, and I think that G2 just put a really big spotlight on how good or bad your bot lane is. It's really the litmus test, you know, for like bot lane power. And then I don't think that NRG have some crazy edge anywhere else. I think that the jungle, I think Contracts is good, but I think Yike is solid. I think Caps is better than Palafox. I think also BB should be fine against the Hawks. I think that NRG, the fact that they are blue side, first they have side selection can be important. I think the main thing to be careful about for G2 is to, yeah, let's make sure that the enemy doesn't get Zaya, and also don't fucking give the Hawks Rumble, bro. The Hawks Rumble. I think NRG is gonna get smoked. I think this is a 2-0 for G2. T1 versus Bilibili. I think that you know, T1 they got smoked by Gen.G, like rolled up and smoked, and they beat North American teams, Team Liquid, and then they beat C9. My concern about T1 is that I think that macro-wise they are not strong enough. I think macro-wise they are not strong enough, and I think that Bilibili are sturdy enough in the right lanes. It's like, I think Bin versus Zeus is gonna be fucking fireworks, but I think where Bilibili is underperforming is not something that T1 is designed to expose. So I am Team Bilibili here.